So hi, it's been quite some time since my last video and I'm really sorry for that. Um, Between Christmas, New Year's, and just work and just a bunch of things, I guess. I just basically forgot to record. I didn't have the time, and then kind of when I did have the time, um there was some sessions kind of a burnout I was going through, which because of Christmas time I obviously had to work that little bit extra because it's been so busy. I'm sorry, am I either sitting up not straight enough or the camera's a bit down? I think that's a bit better. So I thought I'd fill you in on some updates. I think in my last video I might have went over the likes of what I got for Christmas and things. It wasn't a major thing. I'm not really going to go into it. It's really not that interesting. um I got some really cool things for autism. I got a book on autism. I got a sensory lamp, things like that, and a big box of fidget toys. So it was so exciting. I got a big massive teddy bear, that little blue guy back there, who's really good at hugging, so happy about that. um so yeah, in terms of animal updates, rabbits are going really well, the guinea pigs are going really well, my cat's going cat Bella's going on really well. My dog Gus, I treat him too because I work in a pet shop. I got some it's called CBD oil. I got the lower dose because he's a very anxious dog, so we mix it through his dinner, and I personally do think he's becoming more relaxed. Family is still in a bit of shock with seeing this sudden type of change, so they think there's something wrong with him, but I'm like, no, this is part of it. It will help him to be more relaxed, and I think he does need it. And now going on to the bigger situation, which is hamsters, the hamster topic. So obviously my previous video, or two, I think it was my previous video, I obviously showcased the big massive enclosure that my dad made, which I'm still so in love with it. It's amazing. And I'll show it to you in a minute anyway. But on the topic of Nigel, who I did show that I am like 99% sure he is a robo, did get him from my place of work. I did bring him home, not from impulse, but the fact that he was very stressed in work, and he was on his own, and he was doing a lot of backflips, pacing up and down, trying to climb the cage, even though it was a glank. What's a glank? It was a glass tank. So I instantly had him on reserve, and someone actually came to have a look at him, and I directed their attention to a hamster in enclosure beside him, who was quite chill and quite happy out. I just felt like this little fella needed a little bit more love. I felt really bad. So obviously I fell in love with him. I brought him home. And like in my older videos, I had him in a bin cage. Sadly in Ireland we don't really have the big massive storage bins that America would have. So my one was under the minimum requirement size that I wanted to go off of, which my size requirement I'm going off of is a minimum being of 450 square inches. That was under that. Instead of 100 by 50, it was 80 by 40. So it was close, but I was kicking myself up about it. I was not happy with the size. My dad had made the lid so that it was safe, that they can get air circulation and all that through it. But it meant then I had loads of room then to build as much bedding in it as I could. And obviously then got myself then the cage that my dad built, which I am over the moon about. So basically after a little while of housing him, I know this sounds crazy for some people to hear, but this was my first time owning a hamster, and look, and it does, like, I'm not proud of it at the same time. But I just felt a robo hamster just wasn't something that suited me. He was very hit or miss for coming out and socializing with me, which I was well aware, like I knew that anyway, getting him, that he was going to be new to me, along with his temperament just being that little bit shyer and reserved. And he's a prey animal after all. But I just felt that I just felt I wasn't a perfect match for him. Um, and I had a friend who did a load of research. He really, really wanted a hamster, and he was looking for a dwarf specifically anyway. And he really did like Nigel. So I made the decision, I had to put him back in the storage bin container, and I brought him to my friend who's like 2 hour spin away from me. And I'm always getting updates from him, and Nigel is doing really, really well. His name has now been changed to Bolt, because he is quick. Um, and the friend now is very, very soon getting a new enclosure that'll be bigger than what I gave him. With the size that the bin was, with him back in it, I found with my friend sending me videos and all, he was actually coming out of his hides and coming up to my friend a bit more. I kind of felt that he was getting quite lost in the enclosure that my dad built. Um, and he was just becoming more reserved because there was so much room and so much area that he could hide, that he obviously preferred it than coming to see me, which is fair. If I was a hamster, I'd be the very same. But with the bin cage that I gave my friend, he's actually coming out way more often. My friend would be kind of like a hamster himself, if that makes any sense. He is awake during the night and sleeps during the day. That's just his night routine. That's his sleep routine. I don't. I sleep quite early. Well, not early, but I won't be up all night. So the two have already have formed a bond there really, really well. Obviously, it's still going to take time with Nigel Bolt. But I just felt they were better suited to each other. Taking in a new addition, who I'm in love with. It is a Syrian. He's dark brown, but nearly looks like black. I've named him Bear. Obviously, he's asleep right now. And I have gotten a much, much bigger wheel. I believe it's 11-inch wooden wheel. He has a much bigger sand tray, so that he can actually, because he loves digging in it. I've just today put in a smaller little container with some cocoa soil in it. So tonight I'll see how he reacts to it. He's so funny. He comes out when he is up. He comes out. He doesn't run away from me. Syrians will be more on the social end of things, and I feel that's what suits me the best. But I'm going to show you a little overview of his setup. Like I said, he's asleep, so I'm not going to disturb him. His old wheel, which I was using temporarily, but I felt it was too small. He was sitting in it okay, but I wanted to go bigger. I've actually since brought it into my place of work temporarily. One Syrian left, a little white one. I've nicknamed him Bonya, which is Irish for milk. And he is very stressed. I put a lot of bedding in there, so he is digging down, he's burrowing down. I've given him one of my own whimsy treats, which he loves. But it is a glass enclosure, but the door on our side to get in is like a metal mesh. So he's actually climbing that up to the very, very top and then falling. And right below him is his wooden house. So I'm very worried about him hurting himself. And I was in work yesterday evening, so I popped it into him, and he straight away was running on it. Straight away we had customers looking through the glass at him in awe. So I really do hope he gets a really good home. When I am, like I said, I only do part-time. So the days that I am in, people usually get me to help customers that are looking at hamsters. So obviously if he's sold and it's a day I'm not there, I don't know where he's going. But the days I am in, I do try my best to tell and inform people that the likes of him needs a much bigger wheel, a much bigger enclosure, and I never got any customer to buy a lot of the cages we do sell, because sadly they are not suitable to sell. But I do hope that we eventually open our doors to more range of things. Our biggest wheel inside is 7-inch, and they are the mesh metal ones, so it is very disheartening. But the one I gave in to the hamster and work is the Trixie plastic one. I don't know whether I'll show a picture. Maybe I won't, maybe I will. I'm not sure. I'm probably going to have anyway comments saying that that wheel is too small, and I'm well aware it's too small. He's not fully bending his back, but it's still not ideal for him. But he's using it, it's temporarily, and it's safer than him climbing the bars and falling off it. So it does sound really bad, I'm well aware of that, but it's what's working at the minute. And like I said, it's temporarily. Once I get the wheel back, and once he's sold, I'll take the wheel back, and the friend who took Nigel is planning on actually taking that wheel off me. He has another one for the moment that is still a fine size, but he would prefer the one I have, and I don't need it anymore, obviously. So that is the plan with that. But yeah, I'll show you Bear's setup. And he's always out at night investigating. He's a bit of a slow riser at night. He doesn't come out as early, but then he's up well into the early morning, which I don't think Nigel was like that as much. And then obviously ignoring my little elephant foot cushion, that is the container that I have his food. He loves those Science Selective hamster treats. I have some Whimsy treats. I have his food, the cocoa soil, and a whole bunch of different things. And I've put the teddy bears underneath. As you can see, it did come out of the net, so I'm planning on taking that net down, as it's just not really working. And I might actually hang that picture up on the wall there where that was. So yeah, that's basically it. That's the whole setup. But anyway, thank you again for watching this video. Comment below anyway if you loved seeing my new edition of Bear, and obviously if you're a little bit upset and heartbroken by Nigel. I'm very much content and happy with Bear now. Don't worry, nothing else is going to happen now. I'm very happy with him. But I just felt I was best suited to Bear. Me and him, personality wise, really do gel really, really well. And like I said, my friend is spoiling Nigel so well. Well, both. So yeah, I hope to see you in my next video. Like I said, it should be a midweek next week, as I am working the weekend. So I'll have another video probably updating you on my other animals, and probably again on Bear if I happen to record some evening where he actually is awake. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Thank you.